Hello. In this video, I'm just gonna ramble a little bit about Polar Pass. It's a very popular track among time trialers. My favorite track, some other people's favorite track. Track popular among, for some reason, the French players. It's a track with a lot of history, a lot of important milestones. So let's get to it. I guess we first should go through a few milestones and then on it. So the god time is 2 minutes for the course and 39 seconds for the lap. They were both first achieved by Arsène Lupin in 2003. He pretty much on his own figured out how to play this track. He is sort of the father of the strategies. The times are very impressive for 2003 in general. Arsène Lupin independently discovered the mega shortcut here. Actually first figured out that you can sort of go backwards and jump here, which is still used by many in speedruns. But then later the same day he figured out that you can just jump directly, you don't have to go backwards. There's actually an older, much more difficult shortcut where you can jump this gap if you have a very nice speed ghost from the downhill. But I don't think there are any known records that actually use this shortcut. The first god times that were achieved by Arsène they lasted until 2005 when they were beaten by Stelzig, a Danish player who actually is a known Smash Melee player and a Super Mario Sunshine speedrunner. That's what he's more famous for nowadays, but he used to be a very good, one of the best CTR players. Kind of funny, kind of cool. Stelzig's run only lasted for 2 weeks. It was actually something that he posted as, he sent it to Thomas 60 as a birthday present, I think that's the story. So that's why it's on Thomas 60's channel. But yeah, Arsène beat him 2 weeks later with a 158, so the first 158, and it was not just a 158, it was a 158.31, a massive jump, a jump by 0.7, and this jump was so significant because it took another 2 years before anyone could beat him, and it was beaten by Pardiez, who had essentially access to NTSC. And there are a few more records done on PAL, but it becomes quite clear to most players. Most players think that PAL is just inferior here, with the notable exception of Tom. But yeah, PAL is still the most popular version for a while. Luca achieves the first sub 38 in 2008, and later BTF becomes the first sub 157 course and and he also beats Luca's lap. And these two runs are somewhat significant. BTF is still in like top 15 for the lap. It's a difficult lap to beat. It requires sort of nailing a lot of things. It starts to become the level of a lap where that you can't really realistically achieve in a course unless you get really lucky. And then yeah, 2010 Tom achieves a 156, and 2011 Tom achieves 155, and here he is already saying that 154 is possible, and we can sort of talk about that soon. And 2012 Tom achieves 37.11, which is like the most legendary Polar Pass video in my opinion. He's still playing PAL version. He has almost no reserves because he crashes right before the lap starts and says fuck it, let's go. yeah, it's a very impressive lap. Still the PAL world record 13 years later. And these were the last world records on PAL. So let's go talk a little bit about the game plan. So right off the bat, I don't know when this was discovered, but you can sort of do a little chain of speed ghosts here. So you jump off this, and yeah, it's very obvious you can get a speed ghost here by landing on 4 wheels to the downhill here. But then you can sort of double jump this uphill and land in this small downhill here. And the combined effect of these two speed ghosts, you can froggy all the way to the turbo pad and gain like a half a second. And that's a very good start for a run, because you're already in a good place. Because let's say a 155 is something you can achieve without any significant speed ghosts. You can just drive well and get a 155. So this is one way to sort of achieve a 154, is that you get the first speed ghost and just drive perfectly for the rest of the race. But let's go on forward a little bit. There's the sort of infamous mega shortcut. Now with the mega shortcut, there is this little ramp here. You can land on it, and if you do so, you can have a chance, if you get a 4-wheel landing, for a very strong speed ghost. And this speed ghost you can froggy up this uphill, and then you notice this is a bit tilted downwards. You can land on here and jump again to the downhill here, double jump, and if the seals don't kill you, you can double jump up this hill through this gap hill here and go all the way here with a full speed ghost. It's a very cool sequence. It feels extremely good when you get it. But the caveat is that if you don't get it, you're all the way here. And now in 2018, Nix was playing this track, and he just couldn't figure out the shortcut. The old method of doing the shortcut is you just drive normally to it and you jump and blah, voila. You just get the shortcut, and so. But so Nix started doing a drift from here all the way here and jumping while drifting to the wall, and this improved his rates. I don't know if it actually helps, but a few years later I started playing this. I was playing this track a lot, and I just started testing it. I think I was playing balance character, and I was testing it because I felt it might improve my turn radius. And I noticed that I could land all the way here, which was very inconsistent on Penta without doing this. But with the drift, I was always landing very well. And obviously, unless you get the speed ghost from the mega shortcut, landing here is better, just because it's a shorter path. So I started playing like that in the course as well. And I think I got like a 155.30 or something. It sacrifices the chance for the speed ghost here, but unless you get 2 of these, then the drift is faster. So on average, you definitely win time. So that was a big sort of later discovery, but it's still not obviously better. It's still a sort of trade-off. Now, then here's another. If you do a perfect double jump here, you get a low jump, and you land here, just about here, while facing straight. You can get a very strong speed ghost propulsion that you can froggy up here, and you can land into this downhill and maintain through the whole ice section. And this is, I think it was discovered by Loris in 2008 or 2009. The original video is lost, but that's apparently the story of it. And another reason why this speed ghost is so cool is that you can drift on the ice, and because it's ice, you don't lose a speed ghost. And then you just double jump here, drift again. So you can maintain this, and this SG doesn't really kill your reserves. And then there's one final speed ghost here in this ice section, where if you take a double jump there and land here, you can get a speed ghost from landing here. Again, this speed ghost it makes the last shortcut much harder, and also it's a bit risky because if you don't get the speed ghost, it's actually faster to just take as low a jump as possible. The final shortcut has two methods. Early days, and if you want to be safe, you want to jump from here, like this, because you can jump farther and it's easier. But it is actually a little bit faster to go all the way to the left here. But you need to be careful not to crash with this cliff here. And this section is really a headache. A lot of players have different ways for how to approach this. And there is a very small chance of getting a speed ghost from bumping into these edges here or something. But generally you can't really rely on them in terms of strategy. So 2013, Luca gets the world records back and becomes the first to achieve a sub 37 lap. This lap is pretty impressive, 36.81. There's much more room for the lap, but it feels impossible to actually get all of these things in one run. And it takes 5 years, but Justin finally comes back to this track and achieves 154. And this run is ridiculous. He gets like 5 major speed ghosts. It's surreal. The amount of stuff that goes on in his run, I don't know how he finished it. He's just a surprise. I think he was restarting also for the first speed ghost here, or at least that's the impression I always had. But he does indeed get it in this run. And nobody expected a 153 to ever happen, because Justin gets so many speed ghosts here that it seems unrealistic. But in 2022, Pepe gets the world record playing normally, but he just has way fewer speed ghosts. He just has much better lines, and this was a very surprising record because Pepe was not known for OGCTR at the time. He was a Nitrofuel player, and he didn't really have any other super impressive times. He had some good times like Roost Tubes, but he wasn't known as an OG player. But he wasn't happy with the run, and in 2023 he was talking with me. He was actually looking at my run, and he found the drift method very intriguing, and he started implementing it in his runs, and I think he really just liked it a lot. That's now the meta, so it's sort of Nix figured it out for his own reasons. I started using it for my reasons, and Pepe then concluded that it's the most efficient way for world records. It changes the track from being about the mega shortcut to being about the first SG here. So because once you can't really rely on the mega speed ghost, then your major potential for time save comes from getting this speed ghost on lap 2 or 3, preferably both, which you can froggy on the right side here, all the way to here, even further if you have the reserves. And that's the current strategy. The strategy has kept the main route ever since 2003 and Arsène Lupin, but or even earlier. But the minor details of the track are so interesting to me. There are so many ways to play this track. You look at all the top 10 players, and I swear you can find something different in what they do. I really like this track. It's a very micro-heavy track. You can also play this track on all the alternative classes and have very different feels to the track. I'd say ultimately that if you want to try to improve on this track, you really should just try to ignore all the speed goes, ignore all the sort of small time saves, and focus on just driving tight and understanding how landings work and such. Minor details like that will easily get you a 155, after which you can start thinking about how to optimize for things such as speed ghost. Yeah, thank you for listening.